Hey there, it's Sarah Lena here, and I wanted to talk a little bit about this week about sun safety. Now, here in the South, I'm actually in Alabama. We believe summer to start anytime that we get into temperatures over 90 degrees. So, although the official solstice summer starts on June 21st, we've actually been in summer for quite a long time here. So, this actually applies year round, but I think it's probably fitting in summer to talk about sun safety. I want to talk about some of the myths of sun safety, especially when it comes to our skin. As you can see, I am of the pale variety. I call myself Cullen colored or transparent or vampirific, I have often referred to myself as. Um, True story. I actually got hired and fired from a tanning salon when I was 18. They hired me because naturally I'm charming and I'm a great seller, and I'm who they want because I'm dynamic. And then after about, I don't know, 5 months, they realized that I actually could not tan and that I was actually a downfall to their business because having me at the front counter didn't really make anybody feel like they were getting their money's worth. So funny story there. But I actually learned a whole bunch about skin safety in the process. So I wanted to debunk some of the myths of skin safety, especially when it comes to sun. The first one, and I run into this a lot, especially in here in the South, and it bothers me, that only older women need to be concerned about SPF and their skin. And that's ridiculous. In fact, if you look at some of the statistics about melanoma and people who are discovering skin cancers, more and more it's in the younger set of women, and they need to realize that SPF not only applies to the older women, pretty much anybody. If you own skin, hey, guess what? You need to think about sun safety. Another one is that only in full sun do you need to be concerned about sun safety. I make this mistake personally all the time, and I'm embarrassed to admit it because I should be smarter than this. I don't know if you know this, but if you are pale like me, the only colors you get to be in the sun are pale and red. So I should know better than anybody, but as a result, I actually had to do an outdoor event all day 2 weeks ago. Full sun, the high was 96 degrees that day, and I did wear sunscreen, but I thought that, if like under a t-shirt, I didn't think that I needed sunscreen. And the reality of it is, UVA, UVB rays can come through clouds, they can go through cotton. You can be sunburned on your skin through a t-shirt. So full sun doesn't have to happen for you to get sunburned. And that applies to the little kids too. I think often we forget that if we're out at the pool or if we're just walking to the park and it's a cloudy day, we think we can skip the SPF, and that's completely wrong too. And of course, my last myth is that only women of my color need to be concerned about skin safety. And I hate to tell you this, but everybody can benefit from SPF and everybody's at danger from melanoma. So I'm just a bubble of good news today, but we're going to talk about now what we can to do to keep those things at bay. SPF, I'm just a bubble of good news today, but we're going to talk about now what we can to do to keep those things at bay. SPF, I've mentioned it a couple of times. I have heard some people believe, and I did too at one time, that the higher the SPF, the higher the coverage, and that's true to a certain extent. But recent studies have shown that anything higher than SPF 50 may not actually benefit you any more than SPF 50. So most of what you can find in the drugstore easily is SPF 50. So that's usually where I stick. And my kids are all my color, but for some reason they can tan. I hate them for it. But we are all slathered in sunscreen at any point in time. There's also been new development saying that spray sunscreens may be harming your children, but are fine in adults, and I don't recall why that was. So it's really up to you. We still use spray sunscreen because I don't know if you've tried to hold a child still to slather them up. Sometimes it's just better to shoot and hope for the best. That may not be the best parenting advice, but here you go. That's how Sarah Lena parents. You have to reapply. Now, thank goodness, when I was working that all-day event, I was smart enough to every hour on the hour reapply sunscreen. To be fair, it was the spray sunscreen, so, that may hurt me later, but it really saved me from a terrible, terrible day. On my face, I actually use a sunscreen lotion, and then I spray for my body. And I was so fortunate because I really was out in the sun all day long and walked away. Everyone assumed that I was going to be a lobster the next day, but because I reapplied every hour on the hour, and there's new things out. I've seen some wristbands for sale that actually kind of disintegrate, or they change colors when it's time to reapply the sunscreen. But it's just, for me, it's a very easy thing to go, oh, wait, it's another hour. I need to reapply. Reapplying is so crucial. SPF is great. It doesn't last forever. You have to reapply, especially with the children, especially if you're sweating a lot, especially if you're in and out of water. You have to take those things into account and reapply as often as necessary. I would err on the side of too often versus not often enough, because not often enough ends you in Lobsterville, like I tend to live often. As far as recovery, because even I make stupid mistakes when it comes to skin safety, I am a huge fan of aloe. I know, what a groundbreaking idea. But here's my trick, and probably everybody does this too, but we actually keep it in the fridge. We keep a bottle of aloe ready to go in our fridge at all times because nothing feels better when you are sunburned than cold aloe on your skin. It takes the heat out of it, it moisturizes the skin, and we're going to get more into that in a second, and it just basically is like a momentary lapse of memory that you even have a sunburn. There's nothing better than that when you're actually sunburned. For just even 5 minutes of, it's the best. Okay, now about moisture. Moisture is 100% crucial to your recovery if you do have a sunburn. You have to keep moisturizer on your skin, and any moisturizer helps, but you obviously want the thicker the better. It's going to stay in a little bit better. If you can do it after taking a shower, that will retain the moisture that you got in the shower as well as whatever you put on it topically. So I highly recommend, if you are sunburned, come home, take a lukewarm shower because you're not going to want to take a hot shower. Get lots of moisture in your skin. Drink a lot of water because moisture is something that works from the inside out as well, and people seem to forget that. If you drink a whole lot of water after your sunburns, you're going to recover way quicker. Take a lukewarm shower, drink lots of water, and then slather yourself head to toe in the thickest lotion that you own. You're going to feel kind of silly and you're going to feel gross because, yeah, I know how that goes. But you're going to thank me for it the next day. Also, ibuprofen, any sort of pain reliever. I know that sounds silly because you think, oh, it's a skin issue, but you know what? Your skin's going to start hurting, and this is going to help your system kind of start these anti-inflammatories. So it's going to help your skin recover faster. So I know that sounds silly that all of these internal things would help your skin, but trust me, they do. I am the person who, when I was 18, went to Six Flags for a show choir competition. We were outside all day. It was probably May. I did not put a drop of sunscreen on. And then the next day had to compete with a sequined show choir gown on that rubbed the sunburn. I remember it vividly. It was a one-shoulder dress that came right through here, and the pain is indescribable. It was a second-degree burn that I had. So after that, I became a lot more conscientious about my skin and how to recover from it. So just to remember, reapply, SPF, think of the children, and drink lots of water. Those are almost life lessons that you need to carry with you all the time anyway. I hope you're enjoying your summer. I hope you're getting outside and with the kids and enjoying the sun and then coming back into the air conditioning because that's how we roll here in the South. God bless the AC. I'll talk to y'all next week. Thanks so much. Have a great week.